All right, so ever find yourself wondering what's bubbling up in the world of, well, cooking?
Hmm, interesting question.
Well, today we're diving deep into a market that's honestly hotter than a just-used pressure cooker. The pressure cooker market itself.
Really makes you think, doesn't it?
We've got some pretty cool data straight from cognitive market research, and our goal today is pretty simple. Give you the inside scoop on this growing market and the big players who are really, stirring the pot.
Exactly. And when we're talking about growth here, we're not talking about some slow simmer.
Oh, definitely not.
By 2025, this market, it's already going to be worth, get this, 5,934.5 million US dollars.
Wow.
And projections. They show it skyrocketing to $10,984.3 million by 2033.
That's pretty big jump.
It is. It's a compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, of 8%.
Okay, so that basically means.
Think of it as a strong, consistent upward trend in the market's value.
So not just a fad then?
No, not at all. Pretty impressive for something you find in pretty much every kitchen, don't you think?
For sure. So for everyone listening, this isn't just about some, kitchen gadget. It's about understanding a pretty big shift in how people are cooking.
Absolutely.
Now, what's really driving all this growth, I mean, it can't just be about saving a few minutes here and there, can it?
You've hit on something really important there.
Okay, good.
The research points to a few connected factors that are behind this whole thing.
All right, let's break those down.
So first, think about your own day-to-day, right? Most folks are looking for easier ways to cook.
Yeah, time is precious these days.
Exactly.
Okay.
Everyone's busy, and we're all looking for that, magic appliance to get a good meal on the table without spending all night in the kitchen.
Makes sense.
Then there's the whole changing lifestyle thing. More people are living in cities, smaller households are on the rise. So there's this need for appliances that can do it all, but don't take up a ton of space.
Yeah, the multitaskers.
Right. And finally, you can't forget about the whole energy efficiency thing.
Yeah, that's becoming more and more important, isn't it?
Right, definitely. And pressure cookers, they cut down cooking time significantly.
Which saves energy.
Exactly. Big energy savings.
So for our listeners, this market growth really reflects those bigger trends: convenience, making the most of space, and thinking about how we use resources.
Exactly.
Now, the report mentions some cool technology stuff, too. What kind of new things are we seeing that go beyond, the classic stovetop pressure cooker?
Okay, this is where it gets exciting. We're seeing a definite shift to electric pressure cookers. And these are not your grandma's pressure cookers, if you know what I mean.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's so different?
They're packed with programmable settings, super advanced safety features. You can set it and forget it, literally.
Really?
Yeah, the meal practically cooks itself while you're off doing other things.
That sounds amazing and safe.
Oh, totally. The safety features are top-notch these days. It's really changing what people expect from a pressure cooker and what the technology can do.
So who are the big names in this market then? The companies that are leading this whole pressure cooker revolution?
The report points to 5 top manufacturers globally, the ones with the biggest slice of the pie, so to speak.
Okay, let's name them.
We've got Groupe SEB, Midea Group, Corelle Brands LLC, National Presto Industries, Inc., and Hawken Cookers Limited.
All right, a pretty diverse group. Let's take a closer look at each one so our listeners can really get to know them, their styles, the whole deal.
Oh, good.
Let's kick things off with Groupe SEB. I think a lot of people will recognize that name.
For sure. Groupe SEB, they're based in France, a real global powerhouse when it comes to small appliances, cookware, that kind of thing. Last year, 2023, their revenue was a cool $9.7 billion.
Wow.
Their pressure cooker part of the business brought in a solid $780 million.
Okay, so that's...
That gives them an 18% market share, pretty dominant. And you probably know their big brands, Tefal and Lagostina. You've seen them everywhere.
Oh, yeah, Tefal, the non-stick kings.
Yeah.
So what makes their pressure cookers special? What should consumers know about them?
They're all about safety, really advanced mechanisms built to last, super easy to use. You can cut your cooking time by up to 70%.
Seriously?
Yeah, and you can save like 50% on energy compared to regular cooking. But the really interesting thing is they're getting into smart technology.
Oh, interesting. What does that mean for pressure cookers?
They've got these pressure cookers, right, that are IoT enabled.
Okay, so for people who aren't super techie, break that down.
Basically, you can control the pressure cooker from your phone. Imagine you're on your way home from work and you start dinner from your phone. Pretty futuristic, right?
Very cool.
And they're also big on sustainability. Some models are made from 90% recycled stainless steel. They've even teamed up with some culinary schools in Europe, adds a touch of, class.
So it's like a mix of old school cooking know-how and this new tech,
Exactly.
remote-controlled cooking. Something to think about.
Definitely.
Okay, who's next on our list of pressure cooker giants?
Next up, we have Midea Group, a massive company out of China. Their revenue for 2023 was a mind-blowing $53 billion.
$53 billion.
Yeah, pressure cookers alone brought in $1.2 billion, which is about 12% of the market. And what's interesting about them is they managed to keep things affordable while still being innovative and energy efficient.
So for people on a budget, Midea might be the way to go.
Yeah, for sure. They've got a whole range, from basic stovetop models to the fancy electric ones with all the presets and safety stuff. Last year, they came out with an electric cooker with this new dual valve technology. It's patented.
Dual valve. Sounds pretty technical.
It is, but what it means for the average person is they have really precise control over the cooking pressure, which means better results, and it's safer too.
That makes sense.
And they're starting to use AI in some models, like suggesting recipes or automatically adjusting the settings based on what you're cooking.
AI in a pressure cooker. That's pretty wild.
I know, right? And they're really working on expanding into new markets, especially in Southeast Asia and Latin America.
Oh, they're thinking globally.
Yeah.
All right, on to our third contender.
Okay, number 3 is Corelle Brands LLC, a U.S. company. I bet you know their main brands: Instant Pot and Pyrex.
Ah, the Instant Pot. That was a game changer. What was it about that particular pressure cooker that made it so popular?
It was the multifunctionality. It wasn't just a pressure cooker. It was a slow cooker, rice cooker, yogurt maker. It did it all.
It was like the Swiss Army knife of kitchen appliances.
Exactly. They really tapped into that desire for one appliance that can do it all.
And they just kept innovating.
Oh, yeah. Now they've got Wi-Fi models. You can control them from your phone. They even work with nutritionists and chefs to have pre-programmed recipes built in.
So they're targeting the health-conscious crowd, too.
Yep. And they have smaller models now for single people or smaller kitchens.
It's all about having something for everyone.
For sure.
Okay, who else is on our list of top players?
Next up is National Presto Industries, Inc. They've been around for a long time, since 1905, based in Wisconsin.
That's a pretty long history.
It is. In 2023, they made $650 million, and their pressure cooker section brought in $150 million.
So that's about...
So that gives them an 8% market share. And they're known for making really solid, efficient pressure cookers, no frills. They really prioritize safety and reliability.
So if you want something that just works, Presto's a good bet.
Exactly. No fuss.
What about their newer models? Anything interesting there?
Yeah, their newest models have automatic pressure release and heat-resistant handles, so they're really big on safety. They've also got a new eco-friendly line, 100% recyclable.
Good to see them thinking about sustainability.
And they've really upped their online presence to make it easier for people to buy.
It's great to see a company with such a long history adapting to the times. All right, who rounds out our top 5?
Last but not least, we have Hawkins Cookers Limited. They're based in Mumbai, India.
Okay, Hawkins, I'm not as familiar with them.
They're huge in India, really dominate that market, and they're starting to grow internationally. Last year, they brought in $320 million. $180 million of that was pressure cookers.
So they're holding their own on the world stage.
Definitely. About 6% global market share. But in India, they're the king.
So what's their secret to success, especially in a market as big and diverse as India?
They've got this unique pressure-locking lid. It's really well-designed, safe, and efficient. They've also got a ton of models, over 80, under their Hawkins, Futura, and Kentura brands. So they really cater to all the different needs in India.
A pressure cooker for every taste.
Pretty much. And they just came out with some induction-compatible models to go with the whole energy efficiency trend.
Smart move.
And they're using online marketing to reach younger people.
Okay, so they're really thinking ahead.
Definitely.
It's so interesting to see how each of these top companies have their own strengths and their own way of doing things. But the report also mentions some up-and-comers that are shaking things up a bit. Who are these new kids on the block that could change the game?
Here's where it gets interesting. The report lists a few emerging companies that are really looking to challenge those top 5.
Okay, let's hear it. Who are they?
We've got TTK Prestige Limited, Fissler GmbH, Conair Corporation, Edimax Technology Cone Limited, and Meyer Patty Ltd.
A good mix of names there. Let's break it down, starting with TTK Prestige Limited. What makes them stand out?
Okay, so TTK Prestige is also from India, and they're becoming pretty popular because they offer pressure cookers that are innovative, durable, energy efficient, and affordable. They've also got a really strong distribution network in the Asia-Pacific region, so they can reach a lot of people.
So they're covering all the bases.
Pretty much.
All right, what about Fissler GmbH? What should our listeners know about them?
Fissler is a German company, and they're known for their high-end pressure cookers, the really nice ones.
Oh, the luxury models.
Exactly. They're all about safety, top-notch features, and they look really sleek and modern. They're trying to grow in Europe and North America, appealing to people who want the best of the best.
So while some companies are going for affordability, others are aiming for that premium market. Okay, what about Conair Corporation? I think a lot of people know them for other appliances. What are they doing with pressure cookers?
Conair is from the U.S., and they're using their experience in the appliance world to make pressure cookers that can do a lot of different things. They're really going after people who are into healthy eating and convenience, adding all sorts of smart features and programmable settings.
So they're targeting the tech-savvy cooks.
Exactly.
All right, next on the list, we've got Edimax Technology Co. Limited. The name kind of gives away their focus, right?
You got it. Edimax is big in the Asia-Pacific region, and their thing is the Internet of Things, IoT. They're putting that tech into their pressure cookers. You can control everything from your smartphone.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're definitely going after the younger generation who are all about tech.
Makes sense. And lastly, we've got Meyer Pleedy Ltd. I'm guessing that's Australian.
It is. Meyer's actually a really famous Australian retailer, and they've started selling their own line of pressure cookers.
Interesting. What's their angle?
They're going for the higher-end market, pressure cookers that look great and work great, appealing to people who want their kitchen to look stylish and modern.
So a focus on design as well as function.
For sure.
It's pretty amazing to see how these new companies are finding their own niche in the market. The report also talked about advice for new companies trying to break into the pressure cooker scene. What did it say they need to do to grab people's attention?
They highlighted a few key things. First off, multifunctionality is huge.
Meaning?
People want one appliance that can do a lot of different things.
Like the Instant Pot.
Exactly. They also said IoT connectivity is becoming super important, especially if you want to reach younger people.
So smartphones are key.
They are.
Yeah.
And energy efficiency is still a big selling point. People want to save money and be good to the planet. And sustainability is becoming more and more important too.
Like using recycled materials, that kind of thing.
Yeah, people are looking for companies that are environmentally conscious.
So those trends are affecting pretty much every industry. What else should new companies be thinking about if they want to win over customers?
Well, they need to think about which regions they want to focus on. Asia-Pacific and Latin America are growing really fast, lots of opportunity there.
Okay, so go where the growth is.
Exactly. And they need to figure out their niche. Who are they targeting? Health nuts, techies, that kind of thing.
So really understand your audience.
Right. Partnerships are important too, working with online stores and big retailers to get their product out there.
So it's not just about the product itself. It's about how you get it to the people.
Right. And of course, marketing is crucial. They need to explain why their pressure cooker is the best. Talk about the benefits, saving time, healthy cooking, energy efficiency.
Make it clear why someone should choose your product.
Exactly.
So to wrap things up, what are the big takeaways for our listeners about the pressure cooker market?
Okay, so here's what you need to remember. The pressure cooker market is booming right now. People want fast, easy ways to cook healthy meals, and pressure cookers are the answer.
And they're energy efficient, too.
Right. The big names like Groupe SEB, Midea, and Corelle Brands, they're still leading the way, but there are all these new companies coming in with new ideas, making things really interesting.
So it's a competitive market.
Very much so. These new companies are trying all sorts of things. Cheaper models, targeting specific regions, adding new technology.
So it's good news for consumers, more choices.
It is. But the companies that will really succeed are the ones that can do it all. Innovate, be sustainable, and really understand what people want.
So it's a pretty exciting time for pressure cookers.
Absolutely.
It's amazing to see how a simple kitchen appliance has become so high-tech and so important to how people cook. And that brings us to a final thought for our listeners. Given all this talk about technology and sustainability, what will the kitchen of the future look like?
That's a great question.
I mean, what role will pressure cookers play in our future kitchens?
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of pressure cookers.
Thanks for having me.